Good morning, everybody. So we're going to talk about factoring quadratic expressions. Yesterday we talked about GCF, how to find GCF in our calculators. And the reason that we learned that because we needed it for factoring quadratic expression. So before we get to the lesson, I just wanted to say that I'm going to make some notes over here, but you shouldn't do it over here because this is the part that you fold this and glue the back to be able to stick it to your notebook. So if you write down any notes over here, you won't be able to glue it to your notebook. So make sure that you wouldn't write down the notes here as I do it, okay? Do it on the next page or in your notebook somewhere that it's close to this note, okay? So let's talk about what is the quadratic expression. Before we get to do that, let's refresh your mind on GCF. Yesterday we talked about how to get to GCF, and I have my little note over here that says that you go ahead and go to math number 9. You enter both numbers, comma in between, and then you enter and it will give you the GCD or GCF between two numbers. They all need to be positive, and then if you have three numbers, you check it with your biggest and the smallest, and then that number with your middle number, okay? The final number would be your GCD out of those three, okay? If your GCD become 1, then there is no GCD. We talked about this yesterday. If you have a negative number, always put positive and pull out that negative. The other thing is, after you do that and you found your GCD, you need to check those two numbers to make sure if they don't have any negative in common on all three numbers. If they do, then you put your negative for that GCF or greatest common factor. That's a little bit of explanation of what we did yesterday. Now we're going to use that to find a quadratic expression. Okay, this is the way that quadratic expression should look like. We have ax squared, which a is a constant. Constant means it's a number. Plus bx. B is a number, which means a constant. Plus c, which is the constant. So a, b, and c are three numbers that we might have on our quadratic expression. This is the formula for quadratic expression. Okay. Now, before we do factoring, like starting these steps, we need to check our quadratic formula or quadratic expression to see if it's simplified or not. So let me just put my examples here. Let's say we have Let's say we have 6x squared minus 16x plus 8. So if you take a look at this one, you see that it's not simplified. We can simplify it more. So let's just get our calculators. And see if we can simplify this even more. So let's find the GCF. And just to refresh our mind from yesterday work. Okay. We do math, numbers, number 9. Then we get to this page. Then we put 6 and 16 because that's the smallest, that's the greatest. So 6 and 16, right? Then hit enter, we get 2. So I'm just going to write down 2 somewhere, and then we do another one. Math, number 9. Then we put that 8 and this 2 here. What do we get? 2. So, first thing we do, the first step is to find the GCF. So we found our GCF. Just going to write it down. The GCF is 2. So we put that 2 behind the parenthesis, remember from yesterday? We put it behind a parenthesis, and then we simplify. So we say, if you draw your box, let me just draw box 2. We have 6x2, negative 16, and 8. And then we have 2 as a GCF outside. So now what multiplies to, or how you can say 6x2 divided by 2, or what multiplies to give me that? If I divided, I would get 3x squared. Negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So my simplified version of my expression should look like 3x squared minus, oh, I forgot to put x here. My bad. Now it makes sense. So that would be negative 8x. Okay? Because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Minus 8x plus 4. Okay. So that's my GCF, and that's my factor. So I factored 2 out of my expression. That's what it says over here. Always look for a GCF, and that means we simplified it. Okay? Then the second part says start the I method. Draw a capital I. Okay, what does that mean? Let's draw a big I. I'm going to do it over here. Okay? Then put A times C here and B down here. What is A? What is C? What is B? Remember, A, B, and C. So I'm going to draw another one. Just to put the actual A, B, and C. So what is my A here? We factored 2, so my A should be, so I'm just going to write it down. My A is 3. My B is negative 8. And my C is 4. So when they say A times C it's talking about 3 times 4, which is 12. Then we have b down here, which is -8. Right? Okay. Now, it says multiply a and c and put that value above the I, which we did, which is 12. And then write b under the I, which we did, and it's -8. Then it says write the factors of AC inside the I. The bigger number must have the same sign as b under the I. Okay, so let's find the factors. We start from 1. 1 and 12 multiplies and give me 12. That's one factor of 12. 2, 6 multiplies and give me 12. 3 and 4. Now, because we have a negative number here, that means if that's the only positives that if we multiply two numbers will give me 12. The multiplication of these 3 sets would give me 12, and I don't have anything else. But because I have a negative number here, that means I can use the negative numbers too. So -1 and -12 multiplies and give me 12. If I had a positive number here, I didn't have to do negative numbers. Okay? -2 and -6, same thing. -3 and -4 will multiply and give me 12 still. Okay? Now, the next step says choose the factor that add to give you b. What does that mean? Okay. Now, you did find all the factors of 12. Now here, you have to find some of these, or find the one that add it together and give you -8. 1 and 12 is 13. 2 and 6 is 8, not -8. 3 and 4 is 7. -1 and -12 is -13. -2 and -6 is -8. So that's the one that we're looking for, right? Now, it says divide each factor by a and simplify if needed. What was our a? Our a was 3. So we need to, let me use another color. We need to divide these two by a, which is 3, and I put it in fractions. So -6 divided by a is 3, and -2 divided by a, which is 3. So we got -6/3 and -2/3. But it says we have to simplify it. We can't leave anything not simplified here. So -6 and -3, we can divide both by 3, and we would get -2/1. We always have to have it in fraction. Don't put -2. It should be always a fraction. So I'm just going to make a note here. Always leave it as a fraction. Okay? So we got it to this point. Now, what does the next step says? We got this part, now we got that part, now we have to get to this part. Right factors, right factors. Bottom number goes in front of x and top number after. What does that even mean? Okay. So we got these two numbers, right? Now, we have to write down our factored. How? We're going to say we have two parentheses that multiplied and give us this, right? Okay, so this one goes before and this one goes after. So it says bottom number goes in front of x and top number after the x. So what does that even mean? So we have x and x on both. The bottom number, which is 3, will go here before x. So I'm going to put 3 here. And the bottom number here goes here, which is before. It's 1. Now, the top number would go after the x. So I'm going to use another color. -2 and -2. Does that make sense? So I put the bottom number before x and the top number after x. Okay? Now I have my factored. So there's a trick over here that talks about how to get your factors with your calculator, which we're going to go over this inside the class. I haven't done it yet, but we can practice it in the classroom all together. But it says, let's just do it now. It says, click on y equal. Okay, that's y equal. Type the top number AC divided by x. AC divided by x. Well, I think I need to practice this on my own too. I have to do it later in the class. So let's just not do it in the video. I'll show you later because I haven't done it yet. So this part is something that we're going to work on all week. So, but let's just check and see if we got it right. Okay, so if I use my multiplication rule, let's say I'm just gonna rewrite it with the pencil. I'm just trying to check to see if this multiplication would lead me over here. Okay, so 3x minus 2 multiply x minus 2. Now, this multiply that, this multiply this, this multiply that, and this multiply this. Or I can draw my box, which I think you guys like this method more. Okay. 3x minus 2, x minus 2. This multiply will give me 3x squared, negative 2x, negative these two multiply and give me negative 6x, and these two multiply and give me positive 4. So these two are like terms. I add or subtract. So I get 3x squared. These two would be negative 8x plus 4. 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. So I got the same answer. So I did great factoring. Let's just do the back of this paper and practice I method on every single one of these. We're going to do it in the classroom. And then after this, we're going to practice more with the calculator. Okay, kiddos. Don't forget to glue that to your notebook and date it. Today is February 6th. And yes, on Unit 7. Thank you. Have a good day.